One of the biggest reasons why people give up on trading is because of losing streaks and not understanding the concept of probability. Probability is simply just measuring how likely something is to occur, which is exactly what your win rate is. It's only a game of how likely you are to win or how likely you are to lose your next position. Now, to give you the benefit of the doubt, let's say you have a 60% win rate, and over the next 100 trades, you would expect to win 60 of those trades. Now, that of course is the more likely scenario, but it's not guaranteed. It's not a definitive outcome, but rather a more likely scenario. So the same goes for your losers. You will have a more than likely scenario of losing 40% of your trades, but it's still not a guarantee. Anything can happen. For example, you can, with your 60% win rate, over the next 100 trades, you can win 80% of them or win 10% of them. Now that we have the concept of probability out of the way, let me explain to you exactly how it behaves in real conditions. And this is exactly what a lot of traders fail to understand, and consequently, this is what keeps them unprofitable or leads them to giving up. I firmly believe that if you can master this, or at the very least understand it, your chances at succeeding will exponentially grow. So to understand the behavior of probabilities, you must actually look at the data and look at real-time conditions, like what actually happens when you apply it. Now we have 150 trades that I backtested in 30 trade samples. For 3 of the samples, I was profitable, and for 2 of them, I was unprofitable. So if you look at from this trade in sample 2 up until this trade, the end of sample 3, I think, 4, that's 70 trades in total. And for those 70 trades, I was unprofitable. Now, to put it into perspective, I take on average about 15 trades per month. So essentially, that means for 4.5 months, I was unprofitable. Now, a lot of traders, a lot of coaches will tell you you have to make money on a month-to-month basis, or you have to be able to make money even on a weekly basis. It's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. Now, of course, this is coming from someone who has a 33% win rate. If you're on the flip side and you have a 70% win rate, sure, you might be able to make money on a month-to-month basis, but even then, you're not going to make money on a week-to-week basis. It's not going to happen. And even saying that you should make money every month, it's not realistic. If you think about it logically, 30% of the months out of the year, you theoretically are gonna lose, which is like 3.6 months, so almost 4 months that you should be more likely to lose. And that just goes to show it's not realistic to say that you have to make money on a month-to-month basis. And if you break it down even further and you look at a weekly basis, you're not going to make money every week out of the 52 weeks in a year. It's impossible. It's not realistic. Now over here I have a graph of these 150 trades, and here you can see. So I marked it up. The green lines are where I would have passed an account with these. Now, of course, this was backtested trades, so I didn't live trade it. But these green lines marked where I would have passed an account. So if you look at this one, I would have passed an account here and took a couple of payouts. Same with this one, and this one I would have gotten a small payout. After that, it was the 70 trade drawdown period. And essentially that means for 4 months I was blowing accounts. In this example, I only blew 2 accounts, but um, in a realistic scenario, I might blow three, four, five, um, simply because of averages and anything can happen in the market. Now, this looking just at this, if we zoom in and I were to show you just this, and I were to tell you this is my trade performance over the last 5 months, you would tell me I need to fix my strategy, or I need to fix my risk management, or I need to look at my psychology, because that's often the comments that I might receive or that I see someone else might receive whenever they are posting their results. You know, new traders, even experienced traders, they might see someone lose 5 months and proceed to say you need to fix your psychology, you need to backtest, you need to review, you need to blah 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 blah. It's not reality. This is reality. This is gonna happen. Whether you have a 70% win rate or a 40% win rate, even if you have a 10% or a 90% win rate, this will happen eventually because of probabilities and how it behaves in real conditions. If you have a 90% win rate, those 10% of losers can happen consecutively, meaning you can also experience those 5 months of losses or 3 months or 2 months of losses. But if I were to take this graph and I were just to zoom out a little bit, all of a sudden it looks normal. It looks more realistic or desirable for most traders. So the simple conclusion is that no matter how much or how big your win rate is, or how good of a trader you are, or what scenario, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, probabilities are seemingly random, and you can have a lot of weird experiences in the market which are very unpredictable. But as long as you are zooming out on the graph and looking at a longer term perspective, you will have a better understanding of why the scenario we're in is happening, and it will help with morale. You know, instead of getting to your third month of unprofitability, um instead of getting there and thinking you might need to change strategies, or you might need to reevaluate something, you can look at that graph and understand, 3 months of losses is normal. It happens. And that will boost your morale, and at the end of the day help you get through those drawdown periods, so that in the longer run you can actually survive and allow the probabilities to play out for your strategy.